We're going to do what's called a solid operation. And I have this little tool open down here, and that's like the little quick way. The tools are solids, and I've been using that little guy down there for so long, I forget where the original one is. So, um, solids tool, there it is. So I could pick something up here, but if I go to my view tool palette, I can have solid tools open. And that's what I got down there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this one down in the bottom right corner, which is called split. And that gives us the most options for, actually, it's going to cut one thing out of the other, but it's going to give us all the options. Now, here I definitely want to save my file with a new version because this is one of the things where um, if I'm not careful, I'm going to lose what I got and I want to be able to go back. So I save that file and I went to that version 3 and I want to make sure I can go back to version 3. So so that I don't accidentally save over version 3, I'm going to save up and I'm going to pick version 4. So version 4 is like if I accidentally out of my habit hit, you know, Command S and save the file, then version 3 would be gone if I'm in version 3. So version 3 is kind of backup. So now I'm going to do these solid operations. And I have these two groups. This cylinder parts are all grouped. These cylinder parts are all grouped. Plus I have my hot dogs and pickles. Okay. So now I'm going to click in the background, space, click in the background, and I'm going to pick this split tool. And you can see down here on the bottom it says select first solid. And I can do that over here. So I'm going to pick this one, cylinder 1, and then I select it, and then in the viewport I pick the double click. Now then it says select second solid. I slide my mouse over there and pick that one, and I have to like make sure I don't pick the same thing twice. Oh, there, it's already done. Okay, so now over here you can see that this list is different than it was before. Before it was cylinder 1 or cylinder 2. So I'm going to start turning these guys off. Okay, so the cylinder 1 and cylinder 2 are gone, never to be seen again. But I have difference 1, and difference 1 is, let me move my orbit space. It's that. That's kind of like what was outside of those two guys. Then this one is the inside subtracted from the outside. And this last one is just the inside. And so it gave me more than I needed, which is kind of cool because I can do more things with this if I want to. So now I got this. It's cool. I'm just going to hit save, the save version 4. Okay, if I need to go back to version 3, I can. And then I'm going to upgrade this one to version 5. So 5. And basically version 5 is I'm going to make changes to the version 5 and or save it, and that'll be version 5. So now I'm going to turn back on hot dogs. And where did hot dogs go? Okay, hot dogs and pickles are way down there, and my group is huge compared to the type. So I'm going to pick this guy here, space bar, move around, and I want to scale up my type to be larger. And so I'm going to uh, select that. It's selected. And I'm going to pick the scale tool and go in here and make that larger, make that larger. If I pick one of the outside sides. Now, when I did that, I picked each one individually. See, it kind of distorted it every time. So if I don't want that distortion, but if I pick, let me zoom in here. If I pick a top left corner, it kind of scales from the opposite corner. When I was a kid, we used to call it kitty corner. Uh, and I can scale down. Whoops. I'm going to undo. I'm going to turn back my difference back on. Okay. And I wasn't viewing in the right position, so I have to change my view around. Okay. So now I'm going to pick the scale tool and scale up. And I'm going to pick one of these corners. And you can see the opposite corner turns color. And when I do that, it kind of scales it uniformly. And now I'm going to space or H key, move my view around. And I want to center this. And so I'm going to go to camera front. And I'm going to go camera parallel. And if I move my type, so I'm going to try to put my type right in the middle there. And so I use the move tool. And I'm going to move over. And you can see that it's red. That's the right arrow. And that's bigger than I need it to be. So I'm going to scale my type down. So I pick the scale tool, go down a bit, and then get the move tool and hit the right arrow, and then it just visually line up, and then up arrow. Okay, so I'm trying to center that right in there. Go up to camera, pick perspective, H key. Okay, so that's cool. Now I want it to be out here in the front, and I really want it to overlap, H key, this area here. So I want this type to go over that. So I'm going to take the move tool, and if I pick part here and I slide, you can see that it's green. That's the up arrow. Or I think I had to hit the left arrow. It changes kind of per view. And I just want it to be larger. And so I lined that up, but it has to go all the way through. H key to move around. So I need to scale that so that it fits in that. So I pick the scale tool and I pick the middle here. See that guy? It's right. There's a top, bottom, that. Scale back, and I want that go to about the middle. Spacebar, background, H key, and then I can move my tool. And the only thing I really care about here is that there's some overlap between the text. So between that and that. And it doesn't matter that there's too much out there. Um, but but what I may want to do is that I may want to use the back to be a little bit different. So I'm going to stop here and we'll continue in the next video because there's a couple of options that we have to think about.